Hello dear students, welcome to Pen and Paper Chemistry. We are continuing with the properties of alkenes, and this is part 3 of the set of videos on properties of alkenes. If you've not done part 1 and part 2, you may find yourself a little lost in part 3. So request you to first study parts 1 and 2, and please keep pen and paper handy, or maybe the notebook that you have made for chemistry, please keep it handy so that you can make your notes for offline reference. We are continuing with electrophilic addition reactions, and in this lesson we are going to talk about the addition of water across the double bond. So what we've got, RCH double bond CH2, we will again stick to Markovnikov rule. So when HOH adds across the double bond, so what do we have over here? Positive and negative. We could have positive going here and negative going here, in which case it is called as the anti-Markovnikov rule. That is, the positive part goes to the carbon bearing lesser number of hydrogen, whereas Markovnikov rule says that the positive part has to go to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms. So we have a possibility of two types of products, Markovnikov product and the anti-Markovnikov product. Under what condition will each of the reaction take place is what we are going to study next. Yes, the flow chart. You can actually draw this flow chart in your notebook for easy reference, or otherwise in the last part of this series of videos I will give you a complete flow chart to depict the various properties of alkenes. Now the alkene that I have taken over here in this particular video is RCH double bond CH2. You can do ethene only depending on the course curriculum that you are following. Various conditions under which HOH can be added. So we have the first one. React the alkene with 98% concentrated H2SO4 followed by hydrolysis with water. You have the Markovnikov addition of HOH across the double bond here. Then second possibility is you add water, but you are taking only a few drops of concentrated H2SO4. This condition is very, very important, but the end result is again a Markovnikov product. Oxymercuration, demercuration. This demercuration is also called as reduction. What is oxymercuration? That means adding mercury and oxygen to it, right? Oxidizing it by adding mercury to it. We will see it when we do, or just simply take it as addition of a compound of mercury. Demercuration, D means remove. So you remove the mercury part of it in order to get the corresponding alcohol, and interestingly this again is a Markovnikov product. The fourth way that we can add HOH across the double bond is by two steps. The first step is hydroboration, in which we react the corresponding alkene with borane, or what is also called as diborane, B2H6, followed by oxidation. Now if you notice, I have put this in green. Why I have put this in green is so when you close your eyes at the time of examination, you will be able to connect to this green color, because it's an anti-Markovnikov product that you are going to get over here. Please remember that in all these steps I am not taking complex alkene molecules with more than one alkyl group present, because there the stability of the carbocation intermediate plays a role, and the product may be different from what we are showing over here, but it will follow the Markovnikov rule, right? So 4 conditions is what we've got to do now. Should we go ahead with writing the reactions? Let's get going. So the first reaction in the series, alkene treated with 98% concentrated H2SO4. Positive, negative, positive goes to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms. So CHOSO3H. What is this? C. H. There are 2 hydrogen atoms, sulfur, and there are 4 oxygen. And what H2SO4 this is? 98% concentrated. Meaning to say that the reaction is actually with H2SO4 only. And the bottom one is CH3. Remember Markovnikov's rule? Now this is the alkyl hydrogen sulfate that is formed over here. Propyl hydrogen sulfate, that's an addition product. We usually don't stop the reaction over here and we go on to hydrolyze this product using HOH. Let me keep the reaction very simple for you, and what do we have over here is hydrolysis takes place, HOH. What do we get? CH3 CHOH, CH3 CHOH and CH3 plus of course our H2SO4. Now compare these two. Compare the reactant and the product. It is basically the addition of HOH across the double bond according to Markovnikov's rule. Simple? Ready to go on to the next one? Before that, try writing the reaction with a simpler compound, CH2 double bond CH2, because I know in many curriculums they are doing only ethene as an example. So you have 98% H2SO4. You are carrying out the reaction with 98% H2SO4. So if it says only 98% H2SO4, you write the reaction with only till the first part. But if I add the words followed by hydrolysis, then what do? What will be your final product? Yes, it will be a secondary alcohol, right? Second, reaction of alkene with water in the presence of few drops of concentrated H2SO4, because we know that pure water is going to behave simply as a covalent compound over here. So we add few drops of concentrated H2SO4, or in some places you will also find asking you to write the reaction with dilute H2SO4. It's one and the same thing. So let's get going and write the reaction. RCH double bond CH2. We have to add water to it. Go ahead. What rule? Few drops of H2SO4. What rule are you going to follow over here? Perfect. We are going to follow the Markovnikov's rule. Positive part goes to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms. So we have a secondary alcohol as the final product. So what alcohol will be formed if I am starting with ethene as my initial reactant? Try completing the reaction over here. So if you notice, this flow chart that we have drawn over here comes in very handy when you talk about conversions. How do you convert an alkene to a secondary alcohol, and how do you convert an alkene into a primary alcohol? Correct? So when you do this flow chart, there are a number of things that you are learning on one single page, right? Oxymercuration demercuration. So you add mercury, you remove mercury. Also called as oxymercuration reduction, because in the second step of the reaction you bring about reduction. How does this take place? Before I go on to explain that, I have written CH3CO, CH3COO. Do you notice this? Because in many places, at a number of places, you will find this mercuric acetate written as HgOAc whole twice. Not to be confused, I am clarifying the point over here. Acetyl group is CH3CO, which in short is written as AC. You add an oxygen to it, it becomes acetate, which in short it is written as OAC. So you will find it also written as HgOAc whole twice at a number of places, which is nothing but mercuric acetate, and we've got it dissolved in an aqueous solution of tetrahydrofuran, the medium in which the reaction is going to take place. Now here the mechanism of this is a little complex. I'll just give you an idea. I don't want to go into the details of it, else it will confuse many students. So you have a intermediate being formed over here between mercury and the two carbon which are bonded by the double bond. Now this intermediate, because of this intermediate, it is not able to bring about a rearrangement. So what happens over here is, because of this, the product will not be a rearranged product, as is the possibility in the case of reaction with H2SO4, right? Here the possibility is there for rearrangement, but not in the case of reactions of oxymercuration, because this mercury has bound it up. So let's keep the concept simple, because the target of this channel is to make learning chemistry easy and fun, and not to make it more complex, please. So what happens over here is addition of H2O takes place in the next step, so which we have written as one step, wherein the addition product is formed. So mercuric acetate in an aqueous solution, so we get the first product. Second, immediately, usually this is not what we require. So what do we have over here is reduction is carried out in a basic medium using sodium borohydride. So you will have the final product as CH3CHOH single bond CH2. Is it right? No, something is wrong. Tell me. In this slide, I haven't corrected it as yet. Can you find out the mistake on this slide of mine and tell me where the mistake is? Okay, so we had a 2 over here which I missed, and so what will be over here? Very good, it's a 3 over here. So we get again, compare it to the initial reactant. Why I let the mistake remain there is, mistakes are a part of learning. If we don't make mistakes, we don't learn. All the slides that you see here don't happen just like that. A lot of preparation, a lot of mistakes go into it before I'm able to load it. So do it yourself, so you make mistakes and you learn. Let's come back to the lesson. CH3CH double bond CH2. So again it is Markovnikov addition of HOH across the double bond during the process of oxymercuration, demercuration, also called as oxymercuration reduction. Ready to go on to the fourth one? Hydroboration oxidation. If you notice, I have changed the color of this slide for the simple reason that with the color it will be easy for you to remember. You not necessarily that you also have to do it. Now in hydroboration, that means some compound of hydrogen and borine we are using, right? Boron, sorry. and that compound is borane, or more specifically diborane, because it exists as a dimer. Interestingly, here this reaction you can consider it like it's successive alkylation of the diborane over here. So, our first product that we are forming over here is CH3, CH2, CH2 whole thrice B, that is tripropyl borane is our product which is formed. Now, this is not what we are looking for. We go on to oxidation. How is oxidation done? It is done by using hydrogen peroxide in an alkaline medium, right? To represent the alkaline medium, we have put OH negative over here. So, what happens over here? Break it down. CH3, CH2, CH2OH, or if I write the way I have been writing the initial alkene, it will be CH3, CH2, CH2OH. Compare it to the original alkene. What do you notice? Here the positive part has gone to the carbon bearing lesser number of hydrogen atoms. That is why it's a deviation from the Markovnikov rule, and the product is an anti-Markovnikov product. So, hydroboration oxidation, we are getting a primary alcohol over here, which is a complete contrast to the first three reactions that we have written. Now, can you show the same reaction and try writing the same reaction with CH2 double bond CH2? Don't forget to notice the hydrogen that I have put over here, CH3, CH2, CH2 whole thrice B. Basically, okay, understand like this, that the hydrogens have got successively added to the alkyl group, and the alkyl now is added to the boron. So, we have got trialkyl borane. Now, there is another addition reaction that I want to talk about over here at this point of time is polymerization. Poly means many, mer, pieces, molecules. The process in which a large number of small molecules join together to form a single high molecular weight product under specific conditions of temperature, pressure and catalyst is what we call as polymerization. So, what small molecules are joining over here? CH2 double bond CH2. A large number of these molecules are joining to give us this big molecular weight product, the polythene that you use day in and day out, right? Break it up and you know that it is a polymer of ethene. It is also called as polyethylene. Polyethylene, because ethylene is the common name, ethene is the IUPAC name. This small molecule which is undergoing polymerization is what we call as the monomer. The high molecular weight product that we have formed over here is called as the polymer. The entire process of the formation of the polymer from the monomer is what we call as polymerization. Now, this polymerization is a big topic and a big industry in itself, and we have taken up polymerization for higher levels in a separate video. Please watch that video in case you are interested in learning more about polymerization. In the next video, we are going to talk and we are going to move on to the next set of properties of alkenes, and they are called oxidation reactions. So stay tuned, stay in practice. Don't forget to put the flow chart in front of your dining place so that you can read it at least twice a day. Happy studying to all of you.